Hello, and welcome back to Fluent English Journey. My name is Ava, and I'm here to guide you on your journey to clear, confident, and natural English. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a lesson. Your support truly helps this channel grow. All right, take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin today's session. Listen carefully, because I want to start with a simple question. Have you ever felt that you are running, and still not reaching anywhere? Maybe you're chasing better English. Maybe you're chasing confidence. Maybe you're chasing a future version of yourself that always feels a little bit out of reach. Tonight, in this story, I want to walk with you. Slowly, calmly, like a friend walking next to you on a quiet evening street. And together, we explore something powerful. Why you must stop chasing and start realizing. My name is the narrator from Fluent English Journey, and today's listening practice will be long, gentle, simple, and full of clear English. You will hear friendly spoken English, natural rhythm, and soft storytelling. And as you listen, I want your mind to relax. Your English will grow without force. Just by listening. Just by feeling the story. So let the story begin. The night is quiet. Imagine the soft sound of footsteps on a small road. The air is cool. And a young learner, someone just like you, is walking alone, thinking deeply. They feel tired. Not tired in the body, but tired inside. They have been studying English for a long time. Watching videos. Reading books. Practicing sentences. And still, something feels missing. It feels like they're always chasing English, never catching it fully, never feeling free. Maybe you know this feeling too. That strange pressure, that fear of speaking, that worry that you will say something wrong and people will judge you. Tonight, in this story, everything changes. Because this is the night the learner stops chasing and starts realizing. Realizing what? That English is not a race. English is not a competition. English is not something far away. It is already inside you, waiting to come out, waiting to grow naturally, slowly, like a plant. So as the learner walks, they hear a voice. Maybe it is the wind. Maybe it is their own heart. Maybe it is the universe. The voice says gently, "Stop running. Just listen. Just breathe. And see what is already here." The learner stops walking, takes a deep breath, and the story begins to open like a warm light. Tonight is the night they finally understand English in a new way. And tonight is the night you do too. The realization begins you already have enough. The learner sits on a small bench under a streetlight. It glows softly, making a warm circle of light around them. They look at their hands, empty hands. Hands that tried so hard. Hands that held notebooks, phones, grammar exercises. And suddenly, a strange thought enters their mind. What if I already have enough to speak English? What if I don't need to chase more and more and more? Their heart beats. Slow, calm, curious. Because the truth is simple and difficult at the same time. Most learners don't struggle because they lack knowledge. They struggle because they lack belief. Belief in their voice. Belief in their ability. Belief in the simple truth that English grows when you stop pushing too hard. You learn to speak not by fear, but by flow. Not by pressure, but by presence. So the learner thinks back. All the times they stayed silent. All the times they knew the words, but didn't use them. All the times their heart wanted to speak, but their mind said, no, not yet. You're not ready. But who decides when you are ready? Is it the world? Is it a certificate? Is it a test? Is it a teacher? Or is it you? The learner closes their eyes, breathes deeper, listens to the quiet night, and the truth becomes clear. You are ready the moment you say, yes, I will speak, even if I am not perfect. Even if I am slow, even if I make mistakes, because this is how English grows. By speaking, by trying, by allowing yourself to be human. Not perfect. Human. And I want you to repeat something in your mind right now with slow, simple English. I am allowed to learn. I am allowed to speak. I am allowed to be imperfect. Let this sentence stay in your heart for the rest of the story. 3. A quiet teacher appears, the guide of realization. As the learner sits under the warm streetlight, an old man walks by. He looks calm, peaceful, like someone who has lived long enough to understand life in a slow, gentle way. He sees the learner and smiles kindly. Why are you sitting alone? He asks in soft English. The learner hesitates, because they're afraid of speaking English. But something about the old man feels safe. So the learner answers slowly, carefully. I am trying to learn English. But I feel tired. I try so hard. But I don't feel better. The old man nods. He is not surprised. He has heard this many times. May I sit? He asks. The learner nods. The old man sits next to them. The bench feels small, but comfortable. The night feels quiet, but warm. Then the old man asks, "Tell me, why are you learning English?" The learner thinks deeply. No one has asked them this question in a long time. Because I want a better job, they say. And I want to speak to people from other countries. And I want to feel confident. And I want to grow. The old man smiles again. These are good reasons, he says. But let me tell you something simple. He raises his hand slowly, like he is holding something invisible. You think English is something far away, but it is already here, inside this moment. Inside your mind, inside your voice, inside your desire to express yourself. The learner feels confused. How? I still make mistakes. Mistakes are not the enemy, the old man replies. They are the bridge. The learner looks at him. The bridge? Yes, a bridge. Every mistake is a step on the bridge that takes you forward. If you avoid mistakes, you avoid the bridge. And if you avoid the bridge, you never cross it. The learner suddenly feels something warm in their chest, like a soft light is growing. Then, what should I do? They ask. The old man smiles with his eyes. Stop chasing English like it is running away from you. Start realizing English like it is already sitting beside you. The learner closes their eyes, and something shifts inside them. A small door opens. A door they did not know existed. 4. A walk through the quiet town, the journey of presence. The old man stands up slowly. Walk with me, he says. The learner follows. They walk through the town. The streets are empty. The lights are soft. The air feels cool on the skin. As they walk, the old man speaks again. When you chase English, your mind is in the future. Always thinking about what you don't know. Always thinking about what you cannot do. The learner listens carefully. But when you realize English, your mind comes to the present. You listen more. You notice more. You understand more. Because you are not pushing. You are absorbing. The learner nods slowly. So I should listen, relax, be present? Yes, the old man says. And one more thing. He stops walking, turns to the learner, looks into their eyes with a warm, deep kindness. You must trust your voice. Because English does not belong to perfect people. English belongs to brave people. The learner's heart beats faster. Brave? Them? But the old man continues walking, and the learner walks beside him. They listen to the soft sounds of the night. The wind moving. Leaves touching each other. Distant footsteps. Everything feels simple. Everything feels slower. Everything feels possible. For the first time, the learner is not thinking about mistakes. Not thinking about grammar. Not thinking about fear. For the first time, they are simply inside English. Not chasing it. Just being with it. 5. The moment of realization. English is a feeling. They reach a small river. The water moves slowly, softly, peacefully. The old man sits on a stone near the water. The learner sits next to him. Look at the river, the old man says. It does not hurry. It does not force itself. It flows. The learner watches the river, feels something calm inside. Your English must be like the river, the old man continues. Slow, natural, continuous, always moving forward, even when you don't notice. The learner feels tears in their eyes. Not sad tears. Tears of understanding. Tears of release. Tears of relief. Because the simple truth finally becomes clear. I don't need to chase English, the learner whispers. I just need to let myself grow. The old man smiles. Yes, that is realizing. They sit quietly for a long moment, just listening to the river, just breathing the night air, just being. And in this quiet moment, English feels different. Not heavy, not scary, not far away, but close, warm, kind, possible. The learner and the old man sit by the slow-moving river. The water whispers its soft rhythm, like a natural melody that asks you to breathe deeper and live slower. For a long moment, no one speaks. The night feels gentle. The world feels calm. And the learner feels something inside finally relaxing for the first time after many years. The old man looks at the water and says, you know, we spend so much of our life holding heavy things. Things we don't need. Things that slow us down. The learner watches the old man's hands. They are old hands, full of wrinkles, full of history, full of stories. Hands that have carried many things in life. And the learner wonders, what heavy thing am I carrying? The old man turns to the learner and asks, tell me, what is the heaviest thing you carry in your English journey? The learner looks down, breathes slowly, and then whispers fear. The old man nods like he already knew. What kind of fear? He asks gently. The learner thinks. I am afraid that I sound wrong. I am afraid that people will laugh. I am afraid that I will forget words. I am afraid that I will speak slowly. I am afraid that people will think I am stupid if my English is not perfect. The old man listens without interrupting. He lets every word settle deeply. When the learner finishes speaking, the old man looks at the river again and asks, do you see the river judging itself? The learner shakes their head. Do you see the river comparing itself to other rivers? Again, the learner shakes their head. Do you see the river telling itself, I must flow faster, or I am not good enough? The learner almost laughs because the image is funny. No, the river just flows. Exactly, the old man says with a warm smile. It does not carry fear. It does not carry shame. It does not carry pressure. It simply moves. Simply grows. Simply continues. The learner feels something soft inside. Like a small knot of fear has loosened a little. You carry fear like it is a responsibility, the old man continues. But fear is not your responsibility. Fear is just a feeling. And feelings pass. The learner whispers, I wish I could let it go. You can, the old man says. Right now. The learner looks at him confused. Right now? How? The old man gently points at the river. Look at the water. Let it teach you. The learner looks deeper, looks quietly. The river does not fight, the old man says. It does not hold anything. It lets everything move. Leaves fall into it, the river lets them go. Rocks sit inside it, the river moves around them. Wind touches it, the river dances with it. Then the old man turns to the learner. Your fear is like a leaf on the water. You can let it go. You don't need to hold it. You don't need to chase perfection. Just like the river, you can flow. The learner breathes deeply. Something inside them slowly shifts. They feel a small weight falling away, like a drop of water sliding off their skin. Part 2, the story of the backpack. The old man stands up and takes a slow step toward a large rock near the river. He waits for the learner to join him. "I want to tell you a small story," he says. "A story about a backpack." The learner listens with full attention. "Imagine you are walking up a mountain," the old man begins. "The road is long and difficult, but you carry a backpack. You think it contains things you need. Maybe food, maybe clothes, maybe tools." The learner nods slowly. But as you walk, the backpack becomes heavier. Every step is harder. You breathe deeply. Your shoulders hurt. Your back hurts. But you don't stop. You think, "This is what I must do." The old man's voice becomes softer. One day, someone tells you, "Why don't you open your backpack?" And so, tired and curious, you open it. And you discover it is full of rocks. The learner's eyes widen. "Rocks?" they ask. "Yes," the old man says. "Just rocks. Not food. Not clothes. Not tools. Just heavy, useless rocks." The learner imagines the scene clearly. How painful it must feel. How surprising. How unnecessary. "You carried those rocks because you believed they were important," the old man explains. "But they were only making your journey harder." The learner asks quietly, "What do the rocks mean?" The old man smiles gently. "The rocks are your fears, your doubts, your pressure, your need to be perfect, your belief that your English must impress others, your belief that mistakes are failures, your belief that you are not good enough." The learner feels a deep silence inside, because every rock the old man named felt familiar. "You don't need these rocks," the old man continues. "You never needed them. But you kept them because you thought they made you stronger. But they only made you tired." The learner whispers then, "What should I do?" The old man smiles again. "What do you do when you find rocks in your backpack?" The learner breathes deeply. "You throw them away." The old man nods. "Yes. You put them down. You let them go. And when you do, your journey becomes lighter." The learner looks at the river again. The water glows under the moonlight. Soft, calm, flowing gently. "I want you to imagine," the old man says softly, "that you are taking out each rock from your backpack and placing it into the river." The learner closes their eyes. "Take out the rock of fear," the old man says. "Place it gently in the river." The learner imagines it. A small stone, full of fear, dropping into the water. It makes a soft splash, and the river carries it away. "Take out the rock of doubt," the old man says, "and let it go." The learner imagines that too. Another splash, another release. "Take out the rock of perfection," the old man continues. "Let it float away." More water, more movement, more freedom. When the learner opens their eyes, they feel lighter. Like a heavy bag has been removed from their shoulders. "You see," the old man says, "the lightness you feel now, that is your real voice. That is your real English. The English that comes when you stop chasing and start realizing." Part 3. The Power of Slow Speech. They begin walking again, slowly following the path beside the river. The moon follows them like a quiet companion in the sky. The old man speaks in a calm voice. "I want you to listen carefully to something very important. Something many learners don't understand." The learner looks at him with curiosity. "Speaking slowly is not weakness," the old man says. "It is power." The learner blinks. Because this idea feels new, different, almost strange. The old man continues. "When you speak slowly, you think clearly. You choose your words with care. You allow your mind to breathe. You give your heart space to express." The learner nods, slowly understanding. "But when you chase speed," the old man says, "you feel pressure. Your tongue shakes. Your ideas break. Your confidence drops. Because you are trying to run before you can walk." The learner whispers, "I always try to speak fast so people think I am good." The old man smiles gently. That is another rock. A rock called performance. A rock called prove something. You can put that rock in the river too. The learner laughs softly. Perhaps for the first time today. Really, the old man says, slow English is beautiful. Slow English is strong. Slow English is clear. They walk slowly, following the sounds of the river. Step by step. Breath by breath. And more than anything, the old man adds, slow English gives you time to realize your words, not chase them. The learner repeats quietly, slow is okay. Not just okay, the old man says. It is powerful. The learner smiles. A real smile. Soft. Warm. Free. Part 4. The unexpected question. After a long peaceful walk, the old man stops again. He looks up at the sky. The stars look like tiny lights floating in the darkness. Then he turns to the learner and asks a question that surprises them. Do you want to speak English like someone else, or like yourself? The learner freezes. Because no one has ever asked them this. Not in school. Not in books. Not in videos. Not in life. Like myself, the learner says quietly. The old man nods. Yes, yourself. Your voice. Your rhythm. Your personality. Your feeling. Your truth. The learner breathes deeply. I never thought about it, they say. I always try to copy others. Teachers. Native speakers. People online. Anyone who sounds better than me. The old man places a gentle hand on the learner's shoulder. You don't grow by copying, he says softly. You grow by expressing. You grow by speaking from your heart. You grow by being real. The learner's eyes fill again. Not sadness, but something new. Hope. Real hope. You will speak English best, the old man continues, when you stop trying to sound like someone else and start realizing your own voice. The learner whispers, my own voice. Yes, the old man says. That is the voice the world wants to hear. Part 5. The invisible progress. They begin walking again until they reach a wooden bridge that crosses a quiet part of the river. The wood feels old but strong under their feet. Stop here, the old man says. They stand in the middle of the bridge. The water below moves softly. Look down, the old man says. The learner looks. What do you see? The old man asks. The learner answers, water. Movement. Reflections. The old man nods. Do you see progress happening? He asks. The learner hesitates. Not really, they answer. The old man smiles. That is exactly how English works. The learner looks confused. You think you are not improving, the old man explains. You think you are stuck. You think your English is not growing. The learner's heart feels tight. Yes, they whisper. That is how I feel. But here is the truth, the old man says. You cannot see the river moving when you look at one moment. But if you look again tomorrow, the water will be completely different. Because the river never stops flowing. The learner listens with full attention. Your English also never stops flowing, the old man says. Every sentence you listen to, every new word you hear, every time you try to speak, your English moves forward. Quietly. Softly. Naturally. The learner feels a warm truth growing inside. You don't feel the progress, the old man continues, because it happens quietly. It happens every day. It happens in your sleep. It happens when you listen. It happens when you relax. The learner whispers, so. I am improving even when I don't notice. Of course, the old man smiles. You are a river. And rivers always move. The learner breathes deeply. Their chest feels lighter. Their mind feels calmer. Their heart feels stronger. For the first time, they feel like they are actually growing. Part 6. A promise to yourself. The old man looks at the learner with warm, steady eyes. I want you to make a promise, he says gently. The learner nods. Not to me, the old man says. To yourself. The learner takes a breath. What promise? They ask. The old man speaks slowly, like he wants the words to enter the learner's heart. Promise yourself that you will stop chasing English with fear and start realizing English with presence. The learner repeats quietly, I promise that I will stop chasing and start realizing. The old man smiles. Good. Let that promise guide your journey. The learner feels the truth of the words. Simple, soft, strong. I want you to remember something, the old man says. You are not learning English to impress the world. You are learning English to express yourself. The learner closes their eyes and lets that feeling wash over them like the gentle water below. Express, not impress. Realize, not chase. Grow, not force. This is the new beginning. The real beginning. The learner stands quietly on the wooden bridge, looking at the soft water below. Something inside them feels new. Lighter, brighter. Like a room in their heart that was dark for many years suddenly has a warm lamp glowing inside it. The old man stands beside them. Calm. Still. Warm. Like a guide who knows the road even when everything looks quiet and dark. After a few slow breaths, the old man says, Now, it is time to hear your voice. The learner turns quickly. My voice? They ask, surprised. The old man nods gently. Yes. The voice that has been hiding. The voice that wants to come out. The voice that has been waiting for you to stop chasing, so it can start speaking. The learner feels their heart beat faster. They are excited, but also scared. I don't know if I can, the learner admits in a quiet tone. The old man smiles softly. That is exactly why you can. The learner looks confused. What do you mean? The old man places both hands behind his back and begins walking slowly across the bridge. The learner follows him. Courage, the old man says, does not come when you feel strong. Courage comes when you feel afraid and still take a step forward. The learner breathes deeply. So, if I feel scared to speak, that means I am ready to speak? The old man nods. Exactly. Feeling fear means you are standing at the door of growth. When you walk through that door, your voice becomes free. The learner stops walking, looks at the moon, listens to the river. I want my voice to be free, they whisper. I really do. The old man gently turns to them. Then listen carefully. The next part of your journey is about finding your real voice, not the voice you think you should have. Part 1: The Hidden Voice. They leave the bridge and follow a small path that leads toward a peaceful open field. The grass is soft under their feet. The night feels wide and open. The stars look like tiny candles in the sky. The old man sits on a small wooden chair near a tree. The learner sits on the soft grass. Let me tell you a story, the old man begins. A story about a little bird. The learner listens carefully. This bird lived inside a tall tree, the old man says. It had wings. It had a voice. But it never flew. And it never sang. The learner feels the story inside them already. One day, the old man continues, an older bird asked the little one, Why do you stay silent? Why do you not fly? The learner asks softly, What did the little bird say? The old man smiles. The little bird said, I don't sing because I am afraid my song is not beautiful. I don't fly because I am afraid I will fall. The old man looks directly into the learner's eyes. But here is the truth, he says gently. The bird did not know that singing was the very thing that would make its voice beautiful. And flying was the very thing that would make its wings strong. The learner's heart feels tight, but in a good way. Because the story feels familiar. Too familiar. Your English voice is like that little bird, the old man continues. It does not become beautiful first. It becomes beautiful by singing. It becomes strong by trying. The learner whispers, I've been afraid to use my voice. The old man nods. Yes. But now you are realizing something important. Your voice improves only when you use it, not before. The learner looks up at the sky. Their heart feels warm, safe, ready. Part 2, the first words. The old man stands up slowly. He gestures toward the open field. Stand, he says. The learner stands. Now, the old man says, I want you to speak. Anything. A sentence. A thought. A feeling. Something true. The learner feels their throat tighten. What do I say? They ask. Anything, the old man says gently. There is no test. No judgment. Only expression. The learner looks around. The night. The stars. The field. The wind. The old man waiting patiently. A long pause. And then, the learner finally speaks. I feel nervous, they say softly. But I also feel calm. Because I want to speak. I really want to speak. The old man smiles wide. That is it. That is your real voice. Not perfect. Not practiced. Not planned. Just true. The learner breathes out. A long, slow breath. The kind of breath you release after holding something inside for too long. I can speak, they whisper. I did speak. Yes, the old man says warmly. And now that you have taken the first step, the second step will come easier. And then the third. And soon, speaking will feel natural. The learner looks at their own hands. They feel different. Like hands that can create something. Like hands that can carry a new future. Part 3, the voice inside silence. They continue walking through the field until they reach a small hill. At the top, the night sky looks open and endless. A perfect place for reflection. The old man sits on the grass. The learner sits beside him. The old man says, people think speaking is the key to learning English. But before speaking, comes something more important. The learner turns. What is that? Silence, the old man says softly. Silence is the space where your ideas grow. Silence is where your thoughts gather. Silence is where your understanding becomes clear. The learner thinks deeply. But silence feels empty, they say. It feels like nothing is happening. The old man shakes his head gently. Silence is not empty. Silence is full. Full of everything you are learning. Full of everything you want to say. Full of everything you will soon express. The learner feels something warm spreading in their chest. The old man continues. When you listen to English, when you watch stories, when you hear conversations, that quiet feeling inside your mind is not emptiness. It is growth. The learner whispers, so the silence after listening is part of learning? Yes, the old man says. It is where understanding settles inside you. The learner closes their eyes. They listen to the wind, to the grass, to the quiet breathing of the night. And in the silence, they finally hear something new. Their own voice forming inside. Calm, honest, gentle. A voice that was hiding. A voice that is now waking up. Part 4, the path of gentle practice. The old man stands again and points toward a path that curves through the field. Walk with me, he says. They walk slowly. The pace is relaxed. The night is still. The air is fresh. The learner asks, how do I practice speaking in a gentle way? Not in a stressful way. The old man smiles. That is a good question. He begins explaining. Practice does not mean pushing yourself. Practice means returning to your voice again and again. The learner listens carefully. You can practice with slow breathing, the old man says. You can practice by describing your day. You can practice by talking to yourself in a quiet room. You can practice by repeating simple sentences while walking. You can practice by reading aloud softly. The learner nods. That feels simple, they say. Because practice should be simple, the old man replies. Practice should make you feel relaxed, not scared. The learner thinks deeply. So, it is okay to practice alone? The old man nods. Of course. All great speakers begin alone. All strong voices begin in private. All confidence begins in quiet places. The learner smiles. I always thought I needed someone to practice with. You do, the old man says gently. But the first partner is always yourself. When you trust your own voice, you will soon be ready to share it with others. The learner looks ahead at the long path. For the first time, it does not feel scary. It feels open, inviting, possible. Part 5, The Teacher Within You. They reach a small lake in the middle of the field. The water is still, calm like glass. The old man sits on a stone. He gestures for the learner to sit too. Look into the water, he says. The learner looks. They see their own reflection. Soft, gentle, a little unsure, but also hopeful. What do you see? The old man asks. I see myself, the learner says quietly. Good, the old man replies. Now listen carefully. Inside every learner, there is a teacher. The learner turns their head quickly. A teacher? Inside me? Yes, the old man says. A teacher who knows how to guide you. A teacher who knows what you need. A teacher who understands your pace. A teacher who loves your progress. The learner whispers, I never thought of myself as a teacher. That is because you always looked outside, the old man says. But growth begins inside. The learner watches their reflection again. The water moves slightly. The reflection changes, then comes back. Just like languages do. This teacher inside you, the old man continues, is patient. It does not shout. It does not judge. It does not compare. It simply supports. The learner closes their eyes and imagines a gentle voice inside them. A friendly voice. A calm voice. A voice that says, You're doing well. Take your time. Keep going. You're growing. The learner breathes deeply. It feels real. It feels possible. Part 6, The Moment of Transformation. The old man stands once more. The learner stands beside him. Now, the old man says, I want you to speak again. But this time, from your heart. The learner feels nervous, but also ready. What should I say? They ask. Say something true. Say something real. Say something you feel. The learner closes their eyes, feels the night air on their skin, feels the ground under their feet, feels the freedom in their voice. Then they speak. I always thought my English was small, the learner says softly. But maybe it is growing quietly. Maybe it is stronger than I think. Maybe I am allowed to learn slowly. Maybe I am allowed to speak even when I am not perfect. The old man smiles with deep warmth. And how does that feel? He asks. The learner answers. It feels like my voice is waking up. The old man nods. That is the sound of realization. Not the sound of chasing. The sound of becoming. The learner breathes again. A long, peaceful breath. And then, slowly, a smile begins to grow on their face. A real smile. A free smile. A smile of transformation. When you breathe in, the world feels close. When you breathe out, the world feels wide. And in this section, I want to take you into a moment when you finally stop chasing, stop running, stop pushing yourself forward like a tired traveler on an endless road. You know, sometimes in life, we keep moving not because we want to reach a destination, but because we are afraid of stopping. Maybe you feel that too. Maybe you feel that if you stop for even a moment, you will fall behind. But here, in this slow moment, I want you to walk with me. This is Fluent English Journey, and today, we learn how slowing down can help you speak English better, think clearer, and feel lighter inside. So imagine this with me. You are sitting near a quiet lake. The sky is soft. The wind is calm. The water moves slowly, like it is breathing with you. And for the first time in a long time, You do not need to rush anywhere. You simply sit and notice your thoughts. At first, your mind wants to run. It wants to think about yesterday. It wants to think about tomorrow. It wants to think about everything you need to do, everything you forgot to do, everything you should do. But then, something surprising happens. The mind gets tired of running in circles. It slows down. It softens. It becomes quiet like the water in front of you. And in this silence, you hear a small voice inside you. A voice that you never hear when life is loud. A voice that says, you don't need to chase. You just need to realize. And that single sentence changes something in you. You feel your shoulders relax. You feel your breath become deeper. And suddenly your English learning journey feels different. It feels less like a race and more like a gentle walk. As you sit by the lake in your imagination, you begin to notice a strange thing. The more you relax, the more English words come easily to your mind. You remember phrases you forgot. You understand simple sentences without thinking. You repeat words and they feel natural. You know why? Because the brain learns better when the heart is calm. When you stop fighting yourself, the language starts flowing. You smile a little because you realize something important. You were not struggling with English. You were struggling with pressure. You were not bad at English. You were just tired. And when you become calm, everything becomes easier. Now imagine you pick up a small stone from the ground. It feels cool in your hand. You throw it gently into the lake. It makes a small circle, then another, then another. Like your thoughts. Like your habits. Like your beliefs about yourself. You watch those circles spread out and disappear. And slowly, you begin to let go. You let go of the belief that you must speak perfectly. You let go of the idea that you must learn fast. You let go of the fear that people will judge you. And in this moment, you decide something new. You decide to learn slowly, softly, and naturally. You decide to enjoy learning instead of rushing it. You decide to speak even if you make mistakes. You decide to practice because you want to grow, not because you want to prove something. There is a warm feeling inside your chest now. A peaceful feeling. A feeling that tells you that you are exactly where you need to be. And when you look at the lake again, you notice something beautiful. The water reflects the sky, the trees, the world, just like you reflect the language you hear. You realize that your English speaking ability grows when you absorb calmness, when you absorb confidence, when you absorb simple, everyday moments. Not when you force yourself. Not when you chase impossible expectations. But when you breathe, notice, listen, and repeat. Just like the lake reflects the world around it, your English reflects the environment you create inside yourself. As you keep sitting there, the air feels different. Lighter. Softer. The sound of leaves moving in the wind becomes clearer. And slowly, a thought rises in your mind. When I slow down, I understand more. You smile because you know it is true. You feel it. You experience it. And without even noticing, you begin practicing English sentences in your mind. Simple ones. Slow ones. Natural ones. You speak them softly in your imagination. You say, I can learn. I can grow. I don't need to rush. My English will improve step by step. And the moment you say those words, something magical happens. Your inner world becomes still. Your confidence grows one small breath at a time. And in that stillness, you understand something very important about learning English and about life. Not every journey needs speed. Some journeys need presence. Some journeys need patience. Some journeys need gentle curiosity. And suddenly, English becomes not just a language, not just words and rules. It becomes a companion. A friend that grows with you. A friend that doesn't mind if you're slow. A friend that only asks you to keep going. And you will keep going. But now you will walk with peace, not pressure. With curiosity, not fear. With realization, not chasing. because now you know that real growth doesn't come from running faster. Real growth comes from seeing clearly. And as this section ends softly, imagine yourself standing up from the lakeside. Your steps feel lighter. Your mind feels clearer. And your journey continues, not as a race, but as a calm walk toward a better version of yourself. There is a soft moment that arrives in every learner's life. A moment when you stop trying to match other people's speed, other people's progress, other people's way of learning, and you begin to listen to your own journey. And in this section, I want to take you into that moment. So take a slow breath. Let the air fill your lungs. Let your shoulders drop. Let your mind soften. This is Fluent English Journey, and right now, you and I are entering a space where English becomes gentle, natural, and deeply personal. Imagine you are walking on a quiet road early in the morning. The sky is still waking up. The light is soft. The world is calm. And your footsteps make a slow rhythm on the ground. As you walk, you notice the sound of your breath, the sound of birds far away, the sound of wind touching the trees. That's all you hear at first. But after a moment, something else appears, your own thoughts. Not loud, not stressful, just present. And they begin to speak to you. They ask, why are you always comparing yourself? They ask, why do you think you need to speak perfectly from the beginning? They ask, when was the last time you listened to what you need? These questions float gently in your mind, and for the first time in a long time, you don't run away from them. You walk with them. Slowly, calmly, like walking with an old friend. As you continue down the road, something interesting happens. You start realizing that listening, real listening, has always been the secret to learning a language. You learn English by listening to stories, by listening to phrases, by listening to people around you. But today, you understand something deeper. You also learn by listening to yourself, listening to your fear, listening to your motivation, listening to your tiredness, listening to your curiosity, listening to what your heart actually wants. Because when you listen to yourself, you begin to guide your learning with honesty instead of pressure. You begin to notice when you need rest. You notice when a lesson is too hard. You notice when speaking makes you nervous. You notice when listening feels peaceful. And you begin to shape your journey in a way that supports you, not stresses you. You reach a small wooden bench by the side of the road. You sit down slowly. The wood feels warm from the morning sun. You close your eyes for a moment, and you hear the breeze brushing against your ear. And suddenly, something clicks inside you. You realize that you have been listening to many voices in your life, teachers, friends, strangers online, people who speak better English than you. They all tell you what to do. They all give you advice. They all show you their methods. And you tried to follow them. But their journey is not your journey. Their path is not your path. Their speed is not your speed. And for the first time, you whisper to yourself, I need to listen to my own voice. When you open your eyes, the world looks calmer. The trees move gently. The sky feels bigger. And inside you, there is a quiet space where your thoughts feel clear. This clarity makes you repeat a simple English sentence softly. I am learning in my own way. You say it again and again. Every time you say it, your confidence grows a little. You feel lighter, more grounded, more present. And you begin to understand English in a new way, not as a subject, not as a test, but as a part of your own personal growth. As you sit quietly, you imagine your English journey like a small plant. A plant that grows with sunlight, water, space, and time. No plant grows faster by shouting at it. No plant grows stronger by comparing itself to another plant. It grows by receiving what it needs. And in the same way, you grow by giving yourself patience, practice, and kindness. This realization warms you. You smile without even noticing. You begin whispering simple phrases under your breath. I can improve. I can understand. I can speak. I can take my time. These gentle sentences feel like drops of water on your plant. Each word feels like nourishment, not pressure. After a few minutes, you stand up from the bench and begin walking again. But now your steps feel different. They feel intentional. They feel connected to your inner voice. You no longer walk with the tension of someone trying to catch up. You walk like someone who knows exactly where they're going, even if the destination is still far away. Because now, the journey feels right. The journey feels yours. As you continue walking, you begin to practice listening in a new way. You listen to the rhythm of your steps, left, right, left, right. You listen to the quiet sound of your breathing. You listen to your heartbeat. And slowly, you start listening to English in the same rhythm. You say simple sentences in your mind. I am walking. I am learning. I am improving every day. I am calm. And you notice how natural these sentences feel when you speak them. Slowly and softly. You realize that English becomes clearer when you connect it to your real life, your real emotions, your real experiences. And then, like a gentle wave, another realization comes to you. When you listen to yourself, you learn faster. When you trust your own pace, you grow deeper. When you let go of outside pressure, you finally hear the language the way it was meant to be heard, simple, warm, human. As this section comes to a close, imagine reaching the end of the quiet morning road. The sun is brighter now. The world is awake. And so are you. You feel a peaceful strength inside you, a soft confidence, a quiet belief in yourself. You take a slow breath and think, I am ready for the next part of my journey. There is a moment in every learner's life when something small, something quiet, something almost invisible begins to change inside. And in this section, I want to take you into that moment, step by gentle step. So breathe slowly. Let your mind soften. Let your heart settle. This is Fluent English Journey, and right now, you and I are entering a part of the story where growth stops being something you chase and becomes something you feel. Imagine you are standing at the edge of a wide-open field. The grass moves softly in the wind. The sky stretches far above you. The air feels clean, calm, peaceful. You take one slow step into the field, then another, then another. And as you walk, something interesting happens. You feel lighter. You feel like the world isn't pushing you anymore. You feel like you finally have space to breathe. This is what real growth feels like. Not heavy, not stressful, not fast. It feels like space. It feels like ease. It feels like a soft, quiet freedom. As you continue walking through the field, you notice how your thoughts start to open up, just like the sky above you. Thoughts that once felt heavy now feel simple. Thoughts that once felt confusing now feel clear. You begin to understand that growth doesn't happen in big moments. It happens in small breaths, small steps, small realizations. You notice that your English has been improving slowly without you even noticing. You understand more than you did before. You speak more clearly than you used to. You remember words that once felt impossible. And you think to yourself, maybe I am growing faster than I believed. You reach a small hill in the middle of the field. You climb it slowly, feeling the ground under your feet. When you reach the top, the view surprises you. You can see everything, the road behind you, the quiet lake from earlier, the long path you walked, the little bench where you sat and listened to your thoughts. And from up here, it all makes sense. You realize that every small step you took, every mistake you made, every moment when you were patient, it all brought you here. To this higher view. To this deeper understanding. And you whisper softly, I didn't notice my progress, but it was happening the whole time. You sit down on the hilltop, letting the warm sunlight rest on your face. As you sit, you begin to understand something powerful. Growth doesn't feel like running. It doesn't feel like pressure. It doesn't feel like stress. Growth feels like being able to breathe again. Growth feels like understanding a sentence you couldn't understand last month. Growth feels like speaking a little more confidently than before. Growth feels like believing in yourself a little more each day. Growth feels like continuing, even slowly, even softly, even quietly. You look at the field again. You see small flowers moving in the wind. You see long lines of grass dancing gently. You see birds flying across the sky. Everything in nature grows slowly, calmly, without rushing. Nothing in this field is chasing anything. Nothing is trying to grow in one day. Everything grows naturally and perfectly at its own pace. And suddenly, you understand something simple but life-changing. You're part of nature too. Your mind grows like the trees. Your language grows like the flowers. Your confidence grows like the sunlight in the morning. Slowly, gently, steadily. And that is exactly how it is supposed to grow. You close your eyes for a moment. You breathe deeply. And as you breathe, you begin repeating simple English sentences in your mind. They feel warm. They feel honest. They feel real. You say, I am growing. I am getting better. I am learning at the right pace. I don't need to rush. I just need to continue. These sentences begin to feel like seeds inside you. Seeds that will grow into confidence, clarity, and calmness. When you open your eyes again, the world around you feels even more peaceful. You notice that your shoulders have relaxed. Your mind feels lighter. Your heart feels softer. And then, a new thought enters your mind, gentle, whispering, true. Growth does not need to be loud. Growth can be quiet. And the moment you think that, something in your chest feels warm. You realize that you have been growing quietly your whole life. You just never noticed it because you were too busy judging yourself. But now you know how to see your progress. Now you know how growth feels. It feels quiet, but powerful. As you sit on that peaceful hill, you suddenly smile. You realize something else. Maybe the goal was never to chase big results. Maybe the goal was to understand yourself, to become calm, to fall in love with learning, to see the beauty in small improvements, to enjoy the simple magic of understanding a new language. And for the first time, English doesn't feel like a challenge, it feels like a friend. A friend who walks with you. A friend who grows with you. A friend who waits for you. As this section comes to an end, you stand up slowly on the hilltop. You look at the sky one more time. You breathe deeply. And you take a gentle step forward, ready for the next part of your journey. Ready to walk with more awareness. Ready to feel growth instead of chasing it. Ready to continue. There comes a gentle turning point in every learner's life. A day, or maybe just a quiet moment, when you stop fighting yourself. And in this section, I want to take you into that moment so deeply that you can feel it in your breath, in your steps, and in your English speaking journey. So take a slow, soft breath. Relax your shoulders. Let your mind settle like snow falling on quiet ground. This is Fluent English Journey, and today, you and I walk into a place inside you where fear loosens, pressure melts, and learning becomes light again. Imagine you are walking down a peaceful dirt road in the evening. The sky is turning a soft orange. The air is warm, gentle, almost comforting. You hear the quiet sound of crickets in the grass. You see long shadows stretching across the ground. The world feels slow. The world feels safe. And for the first time all day, you feel safe too. As you walk, you start thinking about all the times you were hard on yourself. All the times you said, why can't I speak better? Or why am I so slow? Or why do other people learn faster than me? You feel the weight of those thoughts. You feel the tiredness they bring. And without thinking, you whisper into the air, I don't want to fight myself anymore. The words leave your mouth softly, honestly. And the moment you hear them, something inside you shifts. You feel a kind of release. a small opening in your chest, a gentle loosening of pressure that you've carried for so long. You stop walking for a moment. You stand still on the road. You feel your heartbeat. You feel the warm evening wind on your skin. And you realize something important. The biggest challenge in your English journey was never the language. It was the battle inside your own mind. Slowly, you start walking again. This time, your steps feel lighter. Your breath feels deeper. And you begin to understand something new. You understand that you do not learn better when you push yourself harshly. You do not grow faster when you criticize yourself. You do not gain confidence by fighting your own mistakes. You grow when you accept yourself. You speak better when you relax. You understand more when your mind feels safe. And for the first time, you feel a soft compassion for yourself. A kindness that you always gave to others, but rarely gave to yourself. You walk past a small wooden fence. The boards are old and weathered, but beautiful in their own way. You run your hand across the wood and feel how smooth it has become over time. And suddenly, you understand something simple but powerful. The fence didn't become smooth by force. It became smooth because of gentle wind, soft rain, and slow time. It reminds you that you don't need to push yourself hard to change. You just need to continue. With patience, with softness, with consistency. With every step on the quiet road, you feel the heavy voice of self-judgment getting quieter. That voice that said you're not good enough feels less powerful. That voice that said you're too slow feels far away now. Instead, a new voice rises inside you. A softer voice. A wiser voice. A voice that says you are learning. A voice that says you are trying. A voice that says you are doing your best. And as you listen to that voice, you begin to believe it. You begin to trust it. And trust is the beginning of confidence. You find a small rock by the side of the road. You pick it up and hold it in your hand. It feels solid, strong, simple. And you imagine that this rock is all the pressure you've been carrying. All the fear. All the expectations. All the comparisons. You hold it for a moment, feeling its weight. And then, you gently place it back on the ground. Not angrily. Not dramatically. Just calmly. Softly. Like someone who finally understands they don't have to carry everything alone. When you stand up again, the world looks different. The sky has turned purple and pink. The first stars appear above you, shining quietly. And that calm sky feels like a mirror to your own heart, soft, wide, peaceful. You start walking again, and you notice a strange, but beautiful thing. Your mind feels clearer. Your thoughts feel lighter. And English sentences begin to flow into your mind naturally. Simple ones. Warm ones. Kind ones. You say, I can try again. I can speak slowly. I don't need to be perfect. I just need to practice. I am allowed to make mistakes. These sentences feel like gentle steps, not only in the language, but in your life. They feel like small freedoms, like opening windows inside your mind. You start to smile because you know something has changed. You have stopped fighting yourself. You have stopped being your own obstacle. And now, the journey feels open. It feels peaceful. It feels possible. As the evening turns into night, you reach the end of the dirt road. You stand there for a moment, looking at the soft glow of stars above you. You take a slow breath and your mind feels quiet. Your heart feels light. Your thoughts feel kind. And in this gentle silence, you whisper one final sentence to yourself. I don't need to fight. I just need to grow. And with that simple line, you step forward into the next part of your journey, softly, calmly, and there is a gentle moment, soft, warm, almost hidden, when confidence begins to grow inside you without making any noise. And in this section, I want to guide you into that place. A place where your fear becomes smaller, your voice becomes clearer, and your English begins to flow like water. So take a slow breath. Relax your shoulders. Let your thoughts settle like dust floating gently in sunlight. This is Fluent English Journey, and right now, we step into the part of your story where quiet confidence begins to rise inside you, one calm breath at a time. Imagine you are standing on a small bridge above a slow, peaceful river. The water moves softly. The sound is gentle, almost like a whisper. The air feels cool on your skin. You lean on the wooden railing and look at the water passing beneath you. For a long moment, you simply watch. No pressure. No rushing. Just watching. And as you watch, you begin to notice something surprising. The river moves forward without forcing itself. It does not push. It does not fight. It just flows. Naturally. Slowly. Smoothly. And suddenly, you realize something simple but powerful. This is how confidence grows too. Confidence does not appear from pressure. It does not come from fear. It does not rise from perfection. Confidence grows when you allow yourself to flow. When you speak even if your voice shakes. When you try even if you're unsure. When you practice even if you make mistakes. As you look at the river, you understand that confidence is not loud. It does not shout. It does not arrive like a storm. It arrives quietly, softly, silently, like this water. As you lean on the bridge, memories begin to come back. You remember moments when you were afraid to speak. Moments when you wanted to say something in English but kept silent. Moments when you felt small, nervous, or unsure. You see those moments clearly now. And instead of feeling sad, you feel something different, something new. You feel compassion for your past self. For the person who tried, even when it was scary. For the person who kept learning, even when it felt slow. For the person who never gave up, even when they doubted themselves. And you realize that this compassion, this kindness, this understanding, is the beginning of confidence. You take a slow breath and the evening air fills your lungs. And then, without thinking, you begin whispering simple English sentences softly. I am learning. I am trying. I am getting better. I am growing. These words feel warm in your mouth. They feel soft in your heart. And slowly, you feel something rising inside you. A small strength. A quiet courage. A soft confidence you didn't know you had. You continue watching the water and you notice how every small drop becomes part of the river. Every mistake you made in English becomes part of your growth. Every slow moment becomes part of your journey. Every fear you faced becomes part of your courage. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was useless. Everything brought you here, to this bridge, to this understanding. You place your hand on the wooden railing. The wood feels smooth, shaped by years of wind and weather. And you understand something important. Confidence is shaped the same way. It is shaped by time, experience, effort, mistakes, small improvements, and quiet persistence. You don't wake up one day with perfect confidence. You grow into it. Slowly, naturally, like wood becoming smooth over years of gentle touch. A small smile appears on your face. You begin to imagine yourself speaking English in the future, calm, relaxed, natural. You imagine yourself having simple conversations. You imagine understanding without worrying. You imagine speaking without fear. And a soft warmth spreads through your chest because you can feel that future. You can see it. You can almost touch it. And in that moment, you whisper to yourself, I will get there. You take one more deep breath, and the air feels different now. Lighter. Warmer. You straighten your back a little. You feel taller. More grounded. More present. You place your hand gently on your chest and feel your heartbeat, steady, calm, strong. And quietly, you realize that this strong, steady heartbeat is your confidence. It has been with you all along. You simply never noticed it before. But now you do. You step away from the bridge slowly, and as you walk, you notice something beautiful. Your steps feel sure. Your breath feels easy. Your thoughts feel kind. And deep inside you, there is a quiet voice saying, "You can do this. You really can." And you believe it. For the first time, you truly believe it. As you leave the bridge behind you, the world feels open again. The path ahead feels clear. And your English journey feels less like a challenge and more like a peaceful walk. Every step feels like progress. Every breath feels like growth. Every moment feels like a chance to become a little more confident than the moment before. And with this soft confidence warming your heart, you step forward, ready for the next chapter of your journey. Ready to keep flowing like the river. Ready to speak with more courage. Ready to grow bigger than your old fears. With a heart that finally feels free. There is a moment near the end of every journey when the world becomes quiet, and all the small lessons, all the gentle steps, all the soft changes begin to rise inside you like a slow sunrise. And in this final section, I want to guide you into that moment where everything you learned becomes part of who you are. So breathe slowly. Let your heart relax. Let your mind stay soft and open. This is still Fluent English Journey, and this is the part of your story where you finally see how far you've come. Imagine you are walking along a narrow path that leads out of the forest and toward an open horizon. The air feels cool. The sky is painted with soft morning colors, light blue, pink, and gold. The world feels fresh, almost new. And you feel new too. You've walked through lakeside calmness, quiet roads, open fields, peaceful bridges, and now you're arriving at a place that feels like the end of a long journey, but also the beginning of something bigger. As you step into the open space, the warm morning light touches your face. You close your eyes for a moment, and a gentle realization rises inside you. You understand that this journey was never about a destination. It was about becoming someone new, someone calmer, someone clearer, someone more confident, someone kinder to themselves. And when you open your eyes, you suddenly notice something in the distance. A small wooden cabin. Smoke rises gently from the chimney. The door is open, as if waiting for you. You walk slowly toward it, feeling the soft earth under your feet. Each step feels peaceful, deliberate, meaningful. When you reach the cabin, you step inside, and to your surprise, it feels familiar. Warm. Safe. Like a place you've visited before in a dream. Inside, there is a table with a simple notebook and a pencil. You sit down. You open the notebook. The pages are blank. And for a moment, you simply look at them. Empty pages. Quiet space. New beginnings. Your next chapter. You pick up the pencil slowly. Your hand feels steady, calm, alive. And without thinking too much, you write your first sentence in simple, gentle English. I can speak. You pause. Then you write, I can learn. Then, I can grow. And finally, I am enough. You stare at those 4 short sentences, and something warm rises in your chest. These are not just words. These are promises. Soft commitments to yourself. Gentle reminders of who you've become. You realize that your English journey is no longer something you are afraid of. It's something you are ready for. Something you can enjoy. Something you can walk through with your heart open and your mind relaxed. You close the notebook slowly, and when you stand up, you feel different. Stronger. Lighter. More grounded. You walk out of the cabin and onto a small hill behind it. From the hilltop, you can see everything: the quiet lake, the long dirt road, the peaceful fields, the little bridge, and all the paths you walked through. All the places that helped you grow. All the moments that taught you something small but important. You take a deep, soft breath. And for the first time, you see your journey clearly, not as a series of struggles, but as a beautiful progression of growth. Every fear made you stronger. Every mistake made you wiser. Every slow moment taught you patience. Every quiet breath helped you find your voice. You whisper to yourself, I have grown. And as you say those words, something shifts inside you. You feel your confidence settle into your bones. You feel calmness resting in your chest. You feel your voice becoming steady. You feel a soft joy rising like morning sunlight. Then you take one final step forward on the hill. The sky opens in front of you. The wind touches your face gently. And inside that wind, you hear a quiet message, not from the world, but from your own heart. You are ready. Ready to speak. Ready to learn. Ready to grow. Ready to continue your English journey with clarity and peace. You turn away from the past and begin walking toward the horizon. Your steps are slow, steady, and full of quiet strength. You are not chasing anything anymore. You are simply moving forward. Naturally. Calmly. At your own pace. And as you walk, your voice rises softly inside you, speaking in English with a new kind of confidence. You say, I am on my journey. I am getting better. I trust myself. I am ready for my future. The world feels open. Your mind feels calm. Your heart feels strong. And the story ends with you walking forward, not perfectly, not quickly, but beautifully, at exactly the right speed. Your journey continues. Your growth continues. Your English continues. And now you know that you don't need to chase anything. You just need to realize how far you've already come. Thank you so much for joining today's lesson here at Fluent English Journey. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below telling me what you want to learn next. Your support helps the channel grow and helps me create more lessons for you. Take care, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next class.